You start with a massive spreadsheet and need to get to a sharp, clean chart. But opening Python, you hit a wall of choices. Most analysts struggle because they pick a library with the wrong abstraction level for their medium. Take Matplotlib. It's the bedrock of Python plotting, giving you exact control over every pixel. But if you use it for everything, you will sink hours into writing verbose code for simple statistical charts. If you default to Plotly, you get beautiful, interactive charts with hover tooltips. But those files are heavy. If your final output is a static PDF or academic paper, that interactivity is lost, and you're left with a sluggish, oversized file. Data visualization pain usually starts with a fundamental mismatch between the tool, the final medium, and the structure of the data itself. The plotting ecosystem is stratified by function. Seaborn builds directly on Matplotlib. From that foundation, the landscape diverges.
You have declarative tools like Altair, interactive branches like Plotly, and specialized tools in the Panda stack. Moving up the stack generally requires less code, but it limits your low-level control. Switching branches entirely changes the mechanics of how your chart is rendered in the browser or on the page. The goal is to build a customized, multi-library toolkit calibrated to your specific daily workflow. We evaluate libraries against environment, complexity, and limitations. Pandas allows instant single-line checks, but styling is basic. Seaborn provides beautiful defaults and faceting, but sacrifices web interactivity. Plotly Express delivers zooming and tooltips immediately, but without aggregating datasets, its heavy files can crash browsers. Compare that to Bokeh and hvplot. These offer deeper browser integration for streaming data, but they demand a steeper learning curve for server-backed applications. You are trading code verbosity for visual polish. The right choice depends on whether the data stays in your notebook or moves to an interactive web dashboard. In scientific and research environments, tools like Altair and Plot9 use a grammar of graphics. This keeps your code highly readable by mapping data fields directly to visual encodings. The trade-off is flexibility. These declarative tools often struggle with massive raw datasets and lack the low-level escape hatches needed for the pixel-perfect layouts required by top-tier journals. This reveals the real bottleneck in advanced visualization, handling multidimensional data. Before you write any plotting code, your data must be in a machine-readable, standardized format. Brillouin Microscopy is a prime example. Mapping living cells' mechanical properties requires a pipeline converting raw spectral data into standardized .brim files. Using ZAR-based formats, researchers securely store massive multidimensional arrays alongside acquisition metadata, ensuring data is universally accessible across different software and APIs. When you follow these fair data practices, making data findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable, foundational tools like Matplotlib can render spatial maps that are truly reproducible across different labs. Mastering a plotting library is only half the battle. For scientific rigor, your visualization is only as good as the standardized data pipeline behind it. Given these trade-offs, most workflows benefit from a lean, 4-part core stack, rather than trying to master every library in the ecosystem. Think of it as a specialized toolkit. Use Pandas for cleaning, Seaborn for analysis, Matplotlib for print-ready polish, and Plotly for interactive web deliverables. If you are an analyst primarily focused on speed, stay within Pandas and Seaborn. Only reach for Matplotlib when you need a very specific manual tweak for a final report. For dashboard developers, Matplotlib is less relevant. Focus your time on Plotly, Dash, or Bokeh to build responsive, browser-based applications. If you're a researcher, you'll need to learn Matplotlib's object-oriented API deeply, while prioritizing standardized data frameworks like ZAR or HDF5. This specific stack covers almost every medium you'll encounter in modern data science. By defining your medium and standardizing your data first, the decision of which library to use becomes a matter of logic rather than guesswork.